I'm wearing this t-shirt so you know exactly what I'm going to be talking about, the Loki series, and with the final episode just around the corner, I decided to rewatch all 5 episodes that are already out, and I realised that after watching these episodes you could make a drinking game out of this show. You could take a shot every time someone says glorious purpose because it happens a lot, especially in episode 5. And so after rewatching all of the episodes, I created some predictions of what I think is going to happen in the final episode, and I guess maybe I've come up with some fan theories. So how this video is going to work is that I'll split it into 3 sections, and the first section is going to focus on who I think is the main villain of the show. So like, who is the great power and creator of the TVA. The second section is going to focus on some unanswered questions, ones that have been raised throughout the series that I think they haven't really answered yet, and ones that I want or should be answered in the final episode. And the third and final section is kind of a little bit of fun. It's going to be me making a bingo card of everything that I want or like need to happen in the final episode. So let's get into my final episode predictions and theories. The main villain, who is behind the TVA, who is the creator, the master, the great and powerful Oz behind it all. So I kind of have like 3 theories on who I think the main villain of the show is going to be. So theory 1 of who the main villain is, and this is the theory that I'm like going for, like this is what I think it's actually going to be, is that the villain is going to be another variant of Loki, one we haven't seen yet. There's still some clips in the trailer that we haven't seen in the show yet, and it shows what looks like a variant of Loki, and maybe like a King Loki, where in one timeline he succeeds in becoming king of Asgard. Okay, let me explain. So the TVA, the one sacred timeline, this would be Loki's glorious purpose. This would be him achieving the ultimate power. And the reason why he creates all these other variant Lokis and why they are eventually pruned is because they are either failed in their timeline or were about to succeed, and so it's all these Lokis competing for that ultimate power and to become the superior Loki. This could explain why our Loki is so obsessed with like taking over the TVA, or why Sylvie is obsessed with taking it down. And so the one superior Loki who has that ultimate power is King Loki, and I can see like the ending's going to be a battle between 2 Lokis, King Loki and our Loki, and it's going to be like our Loki trying to overcome his old ways. And it kind of brings back what was said in episode 2, where he says that no one bad is truly bad and no one good is truly good. So he's kind of like hinting to that in himself, like he's redemption in this show of becoming a better version of himself, and will he overcome it in that final fight. And theory 2 of who the main villain can be, this is one that literally everyone's been talking about, and that is Kang the Conqueror, and that makes a whole lot of sense. They've hinted at it a whole bunch, but then I kind of think no, it won't be Kang. Kang has already been casted for Ant-Man 3 Quantumania. I feel like his reveal or like first appearance is gonna be for that, in that, and I don't think he's going to be the main villain of this show, because I don't think they're just going to like completely introduce a whole new character in the final episode just to be the big bad. And I think that the Loki series is going to lead into Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness, and that's why I don't really think they're just going to introduce a completely new character for the final episode, and that's why I think it's going to be some version of something that we have already seen. And my third and final prediction of who I think the main villain's going to be, and honestly this is my favourite one, I really hope it is her, and that is Miss Minutes. She's an icon, she is a legend, and she is the moment. Okay, hear me out. I feel like she plays a greater role than we have given her. In episode 5, Renslayer asked her for all the information and like the history of the creation of the TVA. And to me, other than like the fake timekeepers, Judge Renslayer seems like she's like in the highest position in the TVA. It doesn't make sense that she wouldn't know the history of the TVA, because it seems like that's something someone in like that position of power should know. And since if Miss Minutes does have all that information and able to get all that information about the creation and history of the TVA, then surely she has a really big, if not the link or connection to who created the TVA. So surely it's Miss Minutes. She's the version, she's the thing we've already seen. Like, we're not really sure what she is. She's kind of like a hologram, she's in a TV, she's able to come into physical form. Is this kind of just like a projection of someone who's in that castle who is the person? Is she just a voice? Do we not know enough about her to rule her out completely of who the villain is? Miss Minutes, girl, it's you. I know it is. Now on to section 2, questions I want answered, and I only have about 3 questions that I want answered. Obviously there's a whole lot more, but these are my 3 main ones of they've hinted at it and I need to know. Okay, question 1. I may have missed this, so I could just be completely wrong with this, but Renslayer, she says that C20 is dead, but we didn't see her dead. And if she says that dead as in pruned, we know where the prune people go. So we know that the prune people aren't really dead, they're just in a different timeline and able to come back to the the TVA or whatever. So did C20 get pruned or just straight up killed? Did Renslayer get her hands bloody? Or is she still alive and captured like B-15? So can we possibly see C20 again? Question 2 that I really want answered, again it revolves around Renslayer. She looked genuinely upset when Mobius was pruned. Like she said multiple times that they're besties. Was she genuinely upset? Was her mind just conflicted? Now that she knows the timekeepers are bogus, will she turn to the good side eventually? It kind of hinted that yes, she's on Team Sylvie when she was kind of helping her out even though she was stalling for time. So will she eventually ally with the Lokis? Or is she Team TVA till the end? And question 3 that I really need answered, but again like question 1, this could just be something that I missed and something that's not really a big thing and it was probably an accident. Why does Sylvie keep looking at the camera? I have exact time stamps in episode 3 where she looks at the camera. Whether this was by accident and she was looking at like the director or something, seeing if she's doing a good job, or if this actually means something. Like, is this some kind of WandaVision shit? Wanda was obsessed with sitcoms and so she created that sitcom world in Westview, and Mobius is obsessed with the 90s. Is he obsessed with the 90s because of like 90s sitcoms or something? Is Wanda controlling something here? Has Wanda been creating these timelines and realities where she has her kids and she has Vision again and then she accidentally created this multiverse of madness? Is Wanda the villain of Loki and is that how it leads on to Doctor Strange 2? This isn't like a multiverse of madness, this is a multitude of madness. I guess that's kind of like a full theory of who the villain is. Is it Wanda? Was it Wanda all along? I mean, in episode 2 you see like an Agatha lookalike, so did she just bring Agatha along with her out of Westview? Like, what is going on? And my third and final section, the most excited I've been for something, is the bingo card. Everything that I need, well not everything, just like my top 12 I think it is, of things that I need, that I really want to happen in the final episode. Obviously some of them are very obvious, because a lot of people have been wanting this as well. Number 1, I really want to learn about Mobius's Nexus event. We've heard about some of the Lokis, how they became out of their timelines, but I need to know about Mobius. People have been saying that maybe he could be another variant of Loki. I really highly doubt that. I just want him to be Mobius, a variant of Mobius, and I want to know what did he do for the TVA to take him. Number 2, I need to hear Mobius say wow. Of the Loki episodes out so far, and he hasn't said wow, and so I need him to say wow. I feel like I've heard or read somewhere where he can't say it. He can say it. They would not let him say his signature wow. When like Loki does something, he's just going to be like, wow, that's amazing, wow. And number 3, another Mobius. I love him. I literally just want him for a whole like 50 minutes of this episode just sitting there on a jet ski saying wow. And that's my third thing on my bingo card. Him on a jet ski. Whether it's in the main episode or in a little like post-credit scene, even if it's like 2 seconds and you just see him glimpsing by speeding on his jet ski, I would be a happy girl. It has to happen. They've hinted at that more than the Kang thing. Number 4, we've already seen a lot of this, but I want to see more of it, and that is more Loki variants. The whole show is Loki, about identity. In like the title card, flashes between like different Lokis, you know, showing the different variants. We've seen a whole bunch of them by name or not, and I want to see more, whether by name or not. Literally, my best version of Loki would just be take present Loki with his chopped off hand bitten by the alligator, find Sylvie's broken horn and stick that into his broken hand, and create Pirate Loki, Captain Hook Loki. Oh, that'd be a dream. And number 5, another thing I want to see in this final episode, they kind of did a lot of this in the first 2 episodes but kind of dropped off, is that I want some more like philosophical conversations. I want the show to bring it back to that whole like identity thing, like what makes a Loki. I want it to talk about determinism or free will. I just want it to kind of bring back to what like the main essence of this show felt like in the beginning. If it turns out like the main villain is another version of Loki and then our Loki overcomes the bad of him, then we kind of see like the new identity form from him, and then when all the other variants in the TVA break out, they've got their free will back. See, all links, everything's making sense right here, it's all clicking. Number 6, in episode 1, Loki asks, is the TVA the greatest power in the universe? Which kind of hints that it could be a King Loki who has obtained that greatest power in the universe. Like, I want that question answered. At the end of all of this, is the TVA gonna actually end up being like nothing? Like it was all fake, none of it was real? I feel like this show could end with the whole like, and it was all a dream. But none of us wants that. The timekeepers were fake, so who's to say it all wasn't fake? And that could explain why Sylvie keeps looking at the camera and breaking the fourth wall, because she knows it's not real. I really hope that means something and that she just didn't like fuck up a bit looking at the camera and they kept that shot in instead of a different one. And I have to say it, number 7, I want a Silky moment. In episode 5 we got the best Lokiest moment we could have, where instead of just shaking hands they went in for a big nice hug. And so can I have something of that with Loki and Sylvie? They've had loads of moments where they are like discussing, like beating around the bush, talking about love. It doesn't have to be a hug or a kiss or anything like that. If they literally just straight out talk about their connection, their little love thing going on. But then that also brings me back to episode 3, where they had their conversation about like what is love, where Loki says that love is an imaginary dagger, and I feel like they're gonna kiss and then one of them's gonna get stabbed, just like out of nowhere. They're kissing and then, or they're hugging or doing something, and then just like a sword or a knife is just thrown through them. Because in episode 4, where Loki is in that time cell, like in that time loop where Lady Sif is saying that he is alone and always will be, this could foreshadow Sylvie's death. She thinks like, is she gonna get betrayed by Loki? And could this be a betrayal? Does he like kill Sylvie? But then also the backstab could be like a fake out betrayal, and maybe he needed to do like a fake out betrayal to show like King Loki that, nah, I ain't gone soft, I'm like you, Sylvie, I don't care about her. Which brings me on to number 8. I feel like there's going to be some sort of betrayal. There just has to be, maybe something to do with Renslayer. I mean, there's been betrayal in it. She thought the timekeepers were real. But then maybe there's something to do with Mobius or Sylvie or Loki. One of those people, they're going to betray someone or something. I just see it happening. Which brings me on to number 9. A death. There's gonna be some sort of death. I mean, there has to be. It wouldn't be Marvel without someone dying. Is it gonna be one of the main characters? Like I said in one of my other reviews, I don't see these characters coming out of this series alive. And when I talk about death, I don't mean like the main villain dying, like that's conquering, we won, we killed the big threat. I feel like the death is going to be like one of the side characters that we've seen. Mobius, is he gonna die? They can literally just kill off B-15. She's not an integral part, but I don't want to see her go. Renslayer, is that backstabbing bitch gonna die? I feel like Sylvie's gonna die. I've said this before. I don't want her to, but it's just a little part of me is like, Loki's been so unhappy his whole life, and instead of him dying that we've seen millions of times again and again, instead it's going to be something he loves is going to die. Hope it's not Mobius then. And number 10, this kind of like hangs on one of my unanswered questions that I want answered, like if C20 is still alive. I feel like B-15 or C20 is going to have like an integral part, play an integral role in what's going down at the TVA. When Mobius left, he said he's going to burn the whole place down. Are those 3 going to team up and take down Renslayer? And number 11, which I highly doubt is gonna happen, I literally just added it there last minute for fun. Alligator Loki, I mean, he's literally just clawed his way into our hearts. I don't know how. After he bit off President Loki's hand, I just kind of loved him since then. And speaking of biting off President Loki's hand, I want to see Alligator Loki kill Renslayer. I really don't know why. No hate to the woman, I mean, I love her. I don't, but... And my final thing for my bingo card, number 12. I feel like it's pretty obvious that there will be a post-credit scene, but I want there to be 2 post-credit scenes. One to tie into Spider-Man 3 No Way Home, and then the other to tie into Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. Like, we need something linking into these big Marvel films. Come on. Give us it out. It's pretty much confirmed that Spider-Man 3 is about the multiverse, and obviously Doctor Strange 2 is in the name, it's about the multiverse. This whole Loki series is about the multiverse. So you have to link into the multiverse, which is going on in these other films. But let's quickly say something a little cheery about Loki. Maybe I hope that he finally gets his happy ending. I mean, Iron Man finally got his happy ending. He got a family, though he died, but he did have that happiness just before then. Captain America went back to be with Peggy. Black Widow got her solo film, obviously in the context of the Marvel Universe, she didn't. But we see that she had a happy family, 2 happy families. So like kind of everyone got their happy ending. Will Loki finally get his happy ending and be with Sylvie and maybe create a family there? Maybe they go to a timeline and rule there. I feel like Loki has one of 2 options. He can either have his family, be with Sylvie, get his happy ending and then die or grow old, or some bad stuff's gonna go down and Loki's just gonna be unhappy again, because that's how all these Marvel shows go. No one's happy. But I guess Sam and Bucky got their happiness Wanda did not. Any ounce of happiness she got, she lost. But in episode 5, Sylvie says that she has like one good memory. So is that one good memory her meeting Loki? So are they gonna have their happiness? Are they gonna have their happy ending? And in WandaVision, Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, got a new suit. We got a lovely new suit reveal there. Sam, Captain America, he got a new suit. We got a lovely new suit there. Loki, no one's got a new suit yet. I don't think it will be Loki getting a new suit. Obviously, I think he will spruce himself up as Loki. Because as said in episode 3, what makes a Loki? Independence, authority, and style. Loki's gonna spruce himself up. But in episode 5, Sylvie says that her costume was uncomfortable. So is she gonna get a new suit reveal? Is she gonna have some badass suit for the final fight scene? I mean, Loki says that he could conjure her a blanket, so maybe he could conjure her an awesome new suit. Can we have a badass woman with a new badass suit? And I think that's pretty much it. All my predictions for the final episode of Loki, episode 6. My fan theories, which probably aren't true. I highly doubt most of my questions will get answered and any of my bingo stuff will happen, and the main villain. I really think it will be another variant of Loki. We haven't seen whatever was shown in the trailer. We haven't seen that person yet. But then again, that clip shown in the trailer could just be a flashback, because we know Marvel likes to do that sometimes. But I honestly do think it's going to be something to do with Loki. They're not going to introduce a whole new character for the final episode. That doesn't make any sense to me. Obviously they could, but then I feel like that could possibly ruin it. I will be filming a reaction to the final episode of Loki to see how much on my bingo card I got right, and I will be creating that into an actual bingo card that I can cross off and see how many I got right. That's it for this video. I'm so excited for this final episode. I think a season 2 has been confirmed, but I don't know how official that confirmation is. Comment down below who you think the main villain's going to be. Maybe even comment down some questions that you think haven't been answered yet or that you want to be answered. And is there anything you really want to see in this final episode? Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please leave it a like and subscribe for more. Bye!